Welcome back. It's to Watching Politics Tonight, digging beyond the headlines. I am now joined by the candidate of the All Progressives Congress APC for Surulere Federal Constituency 2 of Lagos State, Lanre Okunlola. Thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Olajumoke, for having me on your program.
All right, let's get straight to business. This is your second attempt at House of Representatives. What is your motivation for this?
Well, I must first say that I want to thank the people of Lagos State for welcoming our next president, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We're really grateful. We're grateful to the governor and the Speaker of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and everybody that was present at the occasion. Today was really heartwarming. Today was reassuring for the people of Nigeria that will get the renewed hope come Saturday, February 25th, to elect the next president of Nigeria. Well, for me, the people comes first. It's about service to the people. It's about being a voice to the people. That's the motivation. That's the drive. And over the past 4 years, we've been doing that, knocking on doors, feeling the pulse of our people, trying to feel what their yearnings are. And that has brought us to know different areas in meeting their needs. If you look at it closely, part of our door-to-door activities has taken us to realize that sometimes the yearnings of our people are different from what we will look at from the other side and think that this exactly is what their position. So I'll give you an example. Take, for instance, education. There's a clamor for more educational infrastructures in my community. Interestingly, I come from Surulere Constituency 2. Surulere as a whole is divided into two constituencies. You have Constituency 1 and Constituency 2. Okay. Constituency 2 comprises of 6 communities, namely Ikate, Itire, Ijesha, Koka, Aguda, and Orile. Now, interestingly, the clamor for more secondary schools is there, and I begin to wonder why. And if you look at this vis-a-vis the ratio of the population, the voting population, with the numbers of secondary schools, their yearnings it's in the right perspective. Is that yes, there's a need. What's the per ratio per secondary school per person? You know, so if you put that in proper perspective, if you look at it based on the planning yardstick, their clamor for more secondary school is justified. You know, so by engaging the people, you'll be able to know what their yearnings are, what the needs, what their actual needs are. And in doing that, that has given us a template to drive the policies. It's all around the people. How do you do this? Just before I got into the studios, just immediately after the rally, I was opportune to meet the Estate Agents Association. And I found out that even from their own premise, by interfacing with them, that they're the first level of even gathering local data for residents. Okay. Local data for residents to look at also the security challenge that we might be facing. You know, so it is important that as a representative, you engage your people so that way you can drive policies around your people. You know, so that's
all right. We will get to your policies, but then the election is just 3 days away. Your election, how has the race been so far?
No, it's been very eventful. It's been very eventful. The people are ready to vote for me as their candidate, as their representative. They're ready because of our interactions with them, you know, and the feedbacks we've gotten over the past few weeks. It's like they're ready to go because, interestingly, we've not had any representation in the federal level from my constituency. So, and because I've constantly engaged with the people, they're ready to go. And I'm sure that if you do your own research, you will know that Larry is the person to beat. We're readily on ground, we're knocking on doors, we're sensitizing our people, and APC is the party. And it's the biggest party, and it's the party that has the word without to take Nigeria to that renewable hope that we are all yearning for. That hope that will make Nigeria great again.
Now, interestingly, you're facing the same man who defeated you in the election in 2019, talking about Honorable Olatunji Soyinka and other candidates. How confident are you about winning this time?
I am absolutely confident because I am on ground. I am loved by the people because of the things that we've done over the years. And I will start from just immediately after the election. I think we had the COVID era, COVID came in and all that. And during the COVID period, in our own little way, we provided relief for our people. We provided packages to cushion the effect of COVID in the communities. And even with that, we did so many social responsibilities by providing portable borehole waters to the community in terms of building capacity. And also in the educational sector, we also leverage on the fact that our people must be rightly educated because the education is the bedrock of any nation. We provided that leverage in making sure that there are free NECOs, free JAM forms that are provided to almost over 1,000 pupils, students. So we've done this in making sure that the impact of these challenges is not felt in the community. And with that, we are well loved and everybody is ready to go. Even, I'll share this with you. Just last week, the diversity in my community is large. Just last week, the Coca community, it gave me a title, and, interestingly, they were the ones even doing the campaign. And they said, Ekweme. And I was wondering what Ekweme is. It's a Ekweme of Coca, meaning talk and do. For whatever we say, we do.
Let's talk further about the incumbent who defeated you in 2019. I know you say you're loved and you're on ground, but don't you think it is even more difficult for you to beat him now?
Okay, let me even put the record straight. I did not lose the election in 2019. We lost in court. Unfortunately, our lawyer failed to file the pre-hearing notice, and that's why the case was dead on arrival. We did not lose that election. But, well, fast forward to now. We are more loved because you see the thing is that for him he's always very evasive and most times he's never come back home to really give them the dividends of democracy, but maybe because of election night.
Don't you think those are words of a politician?
No. But you could do your homework, you could do your research. I mean, with the people on ground, he's not there. It's not there at all. Because the truth of the matter, you're representing the people. But how many motions has he moved in the House? How many motions has he moved in the House? How many bills has he passed? Interestingly, the ones I found from the National Assembly was he could move 2 motions for 7 years. Oh, you're representing the people. You must be accountable to the people.
All right, let's get to your agenda and the kind of policies you have for your constituency. What problems have you observed in the area that you would like to solve?
Interestingly, I'll put them in 3 perspectives. You have the needs for things in the short, medium, and long term. So what are the short-term needs of our people from engaging with them? Infrastructural development. How do you facilitate infrastructural development? The ecological problems, such as flooding, is also being. Then there's security challenge too, that people talk about. There are other social responsibilities, such as social welfareism. How do we take care of our aged ones? What are the things we can put in place in terms of social infrastructure to make sure that our aged ones are well taken care of? And how do you annex that without not engaging them? What about the youth? Invariably, from my interactions with the youth, I found that most times we've not engaged the youth as is required. I mean, I'll give you an example. I was engaging the youth in my community, and I found out that most times what their needs are and not what we as representatives provide for them. And how do you engage them? By engaging them, you know what their needs are. I'll give you an example. There was this young man in the community that I was engaging, and he said, and I asked him, what exactly do you like to do? I mean, where does your interest lie? And he says, he loves music, you know. And I begin to probe further to say, okay, music. Do you know how to play the guitar? Do you know how to play the saxophone? And I found out that his interest is in guitar. And you can imagine if he's well annexed, he could be an industry on his own. You know, so these are the kind of engagements we need to do so that those social empowerments can be tailored around that engagement. You know, so the trust of our program is going to be engagement, so that most of the needs of the people are met through that course. And I must give it to our honorable speaker, Femi Gbajabiamila. He's been so gracious. He's been able to facilitate road infrastructures for us.
I do apologize. Now, because of time, I would really like you to please hammer more on the solutions you have for all these challenges you've talked about. Okay. Now, some parts of Surulere are developed and some well planned, while others are short of ghettos. How do you plan to bring even developments to the constituency? Well,
by leveraging on what you bring to the table. As an architect, I'm a trained architect. This gives me the opportunity to go through a process. We need to have a well-tailored data to see what are their needs. First of all, the short-term needs, the medium, and the long-term. Now, if you take, for instance, infrastructural development, how do we, as lawmakers, facilitate or lobby to make sure that these infrastructural developments get to us? Short-term is for us to sit down and have that data to play with, to say, look, based on this premise, this is our needs. And how do we look? We have 3 levels. We have the federal, state, and the local. Now, what influence can we bring to the table from the federal to make sure that our community develops? Those are the capacities we will be bringing to the table. Those are the things we'll be leveraging on to make sure that development comes to the community.
All right, so what about housing deficits in your areas?
Housing deficit, that's a huge one. Do you have the land to provide that?
You're an architect, so.
Yeah, do you have the land to provide that? We don't have.
There are no lands in Lagos?
No. I'm talking about my community now.
All right.
Yes, it's a huge one. I mean, if you talk about housing deficit, we need to start looking at globally a deficit for Lagos State. Where are we going to? Are we going to start creating satellite towns to take care of the deficit? Do you understand? And the only way to do that is to start looking for new areas for development. But if you're talking about my community, it's almost densely populated. So you probably not be able to take care of their needs that way, except you're talking about urban renewal, where you want to regenerate the community. And you know that goes through a process. I mean, you have, how do I regenerate my community? Right. It goes through a more detailed process. You know?
All right.
So
basically, we're out of time, but then in 30 seconds, I would like you to have your last message for the people of your community.
I want to say that in 3 days' time, we'll be going to the polls, and I want to employ them to please vote for my party, vote for all the candidates of APC, starting with our president, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, all the senators down ballots, and myself, the House of Representatives for Surulere Constituency 2, and also our Speaker, Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, and all the National Assembly members, so that we can build on that renewable hope to move Nigeria to a greater height. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Honorable Lanre Okunlola, candidate of the All Progressives Congress APC for Surulere Federal Constituency 2 of Lagos State. And I must say that we wish you the very best on Saturday.
Thank you so much.